Welcome to Educational Wisdom. Today we will learn about friction, factors affecting friction, its types, advantages and disadvantages, skidding, methods of reducing friction. Why bicycle stops when the cyclist stops pedaling. A cyclist keeps on pedaling to overcome friction, otherwise the bicycle stops moving due to friction. Naturally, there must be some force that stops moving objects. Since a force not only moves an object but also stops moving object. The force that opposes the motion of moving objects is called friction. Friction is a force that comes into action as soon as a body is pushed or pulled over a surface. To walk or to run, friction is needed to push the ground backward. A cyclist keeps on pedaling to overcome friction, otherwise it stops moving. Factors affecting friction. In case of solids, the force of friction between two bodies depends upon many factors such as nature of the two surfaces in contact and the pressing force between them. Rub your palm over different surfaces such as table, carpet, polished marble surface, brick, etc. You will find smoother is the surface, easier it is to move over the surface. Moreover, harder you press your palm over the surface, more difficult would it be to move. Question. A loaded vehicle can move easily through a slippery road like snow-covered road than empty one. Why? A loaded vehicle has more weight than empty one. As a result, the pressing force on road increases and hence friction increases that make the loaded vehicle easier to move over slippery road than the empty vehicle. Types of friction. Two basic types of friction. 1. Static friction. A friction between any two objects when they are at rest. We can easily stand over floor due to static friction. 2. Kinetic friction. A friction between any two objects when they are in relative motion. Friction between a moving car's tires and road is a kinetic friction. Types of kinetic friction. 1. Roll friction. When one object rolls over another object, then there is rolling friction between them. Put two pencils on the table and place a book over them, then push it. The book is easily moved over the pencils as they roll over the table. 2. Sliding friction. When one object slides over another object, then there is a sliding friction. Put book on the table and push it. The book is not easily moved over the table. The reason is that sliding friction is greater than rolling friction. Braking and skidding. To stop a car quickly, a large force of friction between the tires and the road is needed. But there is a limit to this force of friction that tires can provide. If the brakes are applied too strongly, the wheels of the car will lock up, stop turning, and the car will skid due to its large momentum. It will lose its directional control that may result in an accident. In order to reduce the chance of skidding, it is advisable not to apply brakes too hard that lock up their rolling motion, especially at high speeds. Moreover, it is unsafe to drive a vehicle with worn-out tires. Advantages of friction. Friction is highly desirable when climbing up a hill. We cannot write if there would be no friction between paper and the pencil. Friction enables us to walk on the ground. We cannot run on a slippery ground. A slippery ground offers very little friction. Hence, anybody who tries to run on a slippery ground may meet an accident. Similarly, it is dangerous to apply brakes with full force to stop a fast-moving vehicle on a slippery road. Birds could not fly if there is no air resistance. The reaction of pushed air enables the birds to fly. Thus, in many situations, we need friction, while in other situations we need to reduce it as much as possible. Disadvantages of friction. Friction is undesirable when moving at high speeds because it opposes the motion and thus limits the speed of moving objects. Most of our useful energy is lost as heat and sound due to the friction between various moving parts of machines. In machines, friction also causes wear and tear of their moving parts. Methods of reducing friction. Making the sliding surfaces smooth. Making the fast-moving objects a streamlined shape, fish shape, such as cars, aeroplanes, etc. This causes the smooth flow of air and thus minimizes air resistance at high speeds. Lubricating the sliding surfaces. Using ball bearings or roller bearings. Because the rolling friction is lesser than the sliding friction. Force of limiting friction. Friction is equal to the applied force that tends to move a body at rest. It increases with the applied force. Friction can be increased to certain maximum value. It does not increase beyond this. The maximum value of friction is known as the force of limiting friction, Fs. Force of limiting friction depends on the normal reaction, pressing force, between the two surfaces in contact. The ratio between the force of limiting friction Fs and the normal reaction R is constant. This constant is called the coefficient of static friction. Coefficient of static friction equals force of limiting friction divided by normal reaction. Coefficient of static friction equals Fs divided by N. Since normal reaction equals weight of object, coefficient of static friction equals Fs divided by mg. Force of limiting static friction equals coefficient of static friction times mg. Which shoe offers less friction? The shoe with smooth sole, right shoe 2, offers less friction. The shoe with treaded sole, left shoe 1, offers more friction and is better for walking because it provides more grip. Is it possible to move up against the opposite walls in this way as shown in figure? Pushing the opposite walls by palms and feet increases friction. This enables the boy to move up on the walls. Thanks for watching Educational Wisdom. Please don't forget to like, comment and subscribe for more videos.